going to talk about Home Center Training Manual, and after we're going to talk about the KIT Honor Code again. If you typed in KIT Schultz, have already covered it, so we're just going to talk about it again. And then after we're going to have a video, a short video to show you. So in overview, we talk about Home Center, mission of Home Center Training Manual. Do you all know what that looks like? Let's see if we can get some copies for y'all. Guidelines of the Home Center Training Manual, hazing and inappropriate training. So someone read this for me. Anyone?
Let's
go, Kip. Second.
G&M Home Center for Officer Ascension and Citizen Development. Home Center provides coordinated leadership and policy direction for the Air Force's officer recruiting, training, and commissioning programs at Officer Training School and at Air Force ROTC detachments at 144 universities.
So it's basically just saying we fall under Home Center. These are some guidelines. It limits what we do and whatnot. Okay? So the mission is that we build leaders. Someone read this. Someone. Okay, tell these out.
The Air Force's real strength lies in its people. The mission is not done by machines, it is done by people. The best weapons are of little value without trained and motivated people to operate and support them. Those of us in leadership positions have a special responsibility to develop and support the high-quality people who will lead the Air Force in the 21st century. General Charles Gabriel, former Chief of Staff of the United States Air Force.
So basically, we build leaders, right? We just want to make good people, good leaders. Because being a leader, you don't just make followers, you don't have just followers, you make new leaders, right? So Home Center Training Manual. It establishes policies and guidelines for how all supervision and instructional training is conducted. Like I said, we fall under Home Center, we follow their guidelines. There are a lot of limitations, a lot of boundaries that we have to follow, but if and when you all become POC or second lieutenants, you're going to have your own training style, and you're going to have to follow this manual somewhat. The purpose, someone read the purpose for me. Let's go get someone.
Strengthen the working relationship between the supervisor and subordinate and develop a relationship of mutual respect.
So, pretty straight to the point. That's what the manual does. It tells you how to be a good leader. It gives you the guidelines on how to be a good leader, how to be approachable, right? That way, people beneath you will respect you and follow you, right? Hopefully take some of your characteristics. So, like I said, guidelines. You want to set the example. You always hear Captain Spots yelling at POC, telling us to set the example. Stop making the same mistakes. Stop making silly mistakes, because GMC will follow you. So if you want to become a POC and second lieutenant, you always want to set the example. Okay? Do what you say. You want to always avoid sarcasm, because some people take things really seriously. You're in a military training environment, they're always going to want to take you seriously. Typically, sometimes, right? You don't want to be sarcastic because it doesn't really contribute to the mission and it's pretty unprofessional. Okay? You don't always want to be, just talking smack and just joking around all the time, because what if someone hears you and they take you seriously, and then they're going to look ridiculous because they followed your footsteps if you're being ridiculous. Corrections should be consistent. So if you see someone doing something wrong one time, second time, always correct them, always remind them. Be like, hey, we went over this, don't do that again. If you let people slip through the cracks, they're always just going to repeat the same mistakes, and the other people are going to follow their footsteps and make those mistakes also. Physical discipline is never allowed nor authorized. So if your belt is wrong, your uniform is really wrong, we're not going to drop you, make you do a bunch of push-ups. We're not going to hit you and smack you just because you're wrong. Okay? You're not going to learn how you wear a uniform that way. If anything, you're just going to be too scared to wear the uniform, or you're just going to hate us. Know the regulations, published guidelines, or guidance, sorry. So, like I said, hopefully we can get you a copy of the manual so that you kind of get an idea what the training manual is trying to say, and so you can maybe even develop your own leadership skills now. And again, just be serious. This is a military training environment. Be serious. If you're out of uniform and you're not in an ROTC environment, go joke around all you want. But when you come here, try to lock it on. All right. Hazing. Someone read this for me. What's your name?
Lieutenant Command, Robert Flame. nation's security and prosperity depends on our ability to develop and employ the talents of all people. Hazing is contrary to good order and discipline. It is not acceptable behavior and will not be tolerated in our Air Force.
Okay. So hazing. Does anyone have a question about what hazing is? It can be interpreted in different ways. But hazing is basically just making you all do something humiliating for no purpose and contributes nothing, right? You're not gonna learn. Like I said, we're not gonna make you, we're not gonna drop you or hit you, right? But we're also not gonna make you, I don't know, go outside and sing a bunch of Barney songs in order to earn your uniform. It's humiliating. It makes no sense. Someone read this for me.
Hazing is defined as any conduct whereby a military member or members, regardless of service or rank, suffer or are exposed to any activity which is cruel, abusive, humiliating, oppressive, demeaning, or harmful. Soliciting or coercing another to perpetrate any such activity is also considered hazing. Hazing need not involve physical contact among or between military members. It can be verbal or psychological in nature. Actual or implied consent to acts of hazing does not eliminate the culpability of the perpetrator.
So whether or not some of you consider something hazing and other people do or do not, it's still hazing, all right? If we haze you, we're hazing you, period, all right? Like I said, if you do something humiliating, doesn't contribute to your training mission, if it doesn't help you learn, there's no purpose to it, we're not gonna make you do it. We're not gonna embarrass you, all right? It doesn't help. It doesn't help you learn. Inappropriate training, someone read this.
Physical maltreatment. Any practice defined as physical cruelty or maltreatment under Article 93 or 128 of the Uniform Code of Military Justice, including, but not limited to, screaming into a student's ear or striking a student.
So, let's say you show up, your uniform's all wrong, you don't know any of your war knowledge. We're not going to choke you out because you don't know your war knowledge. We're not going to hit you, we're not going to scream in your ear unless you're pivots, you know, just saying. But we're not going to hit you, we're not going to abuse you, all right? That's maltraining, we're not going to do that. Physical contact. There will be no physical contact between staff and students of upper class and lower class students. The only exception is to correct military bearing and proper wear of the uniform or posture after first receiving the student's permission. So we will always say permission to touch before we touch you, okay? If your hat is wrong, we're going to say permission to touch. We're going to correct it for you, we'll help you correct it. Say your gig line is off, your shoulder rings are off, we're never, ever, ever going to touch you unless we say permission to touch. You guys should practice that with each other too. Some people, their bubbles are a little bit smaller than others, right? So don't touch each other. Ask each other for permission first. So read this.
Verbal maltreatment, abusive language directed at a student that degrades or slanders the character, religion, sex, race, color, national origin, or ethnic background of a person or group. Maltraining, any training practice not designed to reach a training objective, including but not limited to making students do degrading tasks.
So verbal maltreatment. We're not racist here. We're not sexist here. Okay? We're not going to accuse you that you're incapable of doing something or whatever just because of your religion or your sex. We're not going to do that. This day and age, you have Colonel Terrell. He asked who's left-handed, right, in the wing. He said it doesn't matter. So it doesn't matter what their race is or their sex is, their gender, religion, or their color. It doesn't matter. Okay? We're not gonna use that against you. You guys shouldn't use that against each other too. We live in a really diverse place, so get over it. Not training. Back to hazing. We're not gonna humiliate you and make you guys do anything that doesn't contribute to the mission or to your learning objective because it makes no sense. It's a waste of time. It's unprofessional. Don't do that to each other. Don't do it as POC or second lieutenants. So in conclusion, I went over Home Center, the mission, Home Center Training Manual. Again, like I said, I hope we can get some copies for you all. Went over the guidelines, hazing, and inappropriate training. Here's the source. This concludes my briefing. Are there any questions? All right, next